Hey, it's about 2:30 in the morning, and that's often the time I struggle if I'm super tired. So I wake up and start thinking about stuff. Can't go back to sleep because I've kind of slept out. Anyway, I was thinking about Sherman, of course, because that's a lot what I think about. But I'll give you a story here that might look like I'm taking the long way around, but it'll come together. For many years ago, I had an assisted living home, and there was a lady at my assisted living home that was just genuine. She was just a really good person, and she lived her life fully. She was married like 5 times, and which was no testament to anything except she knew how to love. She Her last endeavor was she owned a bar together with her husband in Reno, Nevada. She uh, she was just a real rounder. She only had 5 people at my assisted living. It was just in my home, and they lived there. And she just lived a full life right from her bed. She had limited mobility, and she could transfer from her bed to her commode and back. Well, she'd get up every day, and she'd fix her hair up, and she'd put on a nice crisp shirt, and she just always looked real nice, real put together. And she had a cat. I had a couple little dogs, but she wanted to always be part of everything. So we put a screen door on her door in place of her other door, and so that she could leave it open so she could see what was going on all the time. She had people come and visit her all the time. They just loved her. Her name was Betty, and uh, and then I'd hear her down the hall after they visited a while. She'd say, "Now get on with yourself. I got stuff to do," and she'd just try to dismiss them. And I always took that as she didn't want to be that old lady that stranglehold you, so you didn't want to come and see her because people loved to come and see her. She had her own landline in her room. She just had packages coming all the time. She'd order from catalogs. She had just a full life right from that bed, and she just lived and lived and lived. And my point of Betty is, um, she lived until she died. She died there in that house, and she lived until she did that. And so many people came there, and they were dead before they passed. And she wasn't like that. And my prime example of Betty is the day after she died, she got a push-up bra in the mail. And so ever since, I've just said, be like Betty. Just be like Betty, live until you die. And I got to say, how I'm tying that up with Sherman here is, I said that to Sherman. Sherman did that regardless of what I said. He lived until he died. He 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 last summer he bought 2 boats. He bought a landing craft that opens in the front, a big old aluminum boat, and we bought another smaller boat to go out in the bay. And he already had 3 boats. He just he was always looking for property to invest in or things like that to do and batting ideas around, and he had a terminal illness that shouldn't have let him live 6 months. It let him almost live 4 years, and he was still living. And I got a lot of respect for that. A lot of respect for that. And he left a lot behind to be dealt with, and he worried about that a little bit. The last few years, he'd say, I probably should do this or probably should do that. And he's got 2 kids, and one of them I dearly love. The other one, you can do anything you want with her, just keep her away from me. But I used to say to him, you know what? Let your kids deal with it. Make them earn it. And he took care of a few things, but mostly he just lived until he died. And I just don't know how anybody can't have a whole lot of respect for that. So just everybody live until you die. That's what I'm trying to do. It's hard because sometimes you don't wanna for spaces in time like this when you're just overcome with grief, but do it, live until you die. That's the way it ought to be, I'm thinking. Anyway, that's all I got.